liked it better when the only risk was like getting your foot wet. Now it's like I might slip and just die.
Welcome to Take a Hike, where I take your favorite YouTubers on hikes here on Maui and push them to their limits while also giving you a chance to get to know them a little better as well. Today is our very first episode of this new series with none other than filmmaker Danny Gevirtz. Danny has worked with some of the biggest brands like Nike, Converse, and Lululemon and has just passed the 100K sub mark on YouTube. Danny has also just moved here to Maui, and so for this hike I wanted to take him on the very first hike that I ever did here on Maui as well.
Oh, hey Matt. What's up, man?
Hey man, how you doing?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. You ready to do the hike?
Yeah, dude, I can't wait.
Right.
This will be my first adventurous hike that I've been on in Maui. We've done like the touristy ones. I'm excited to like dig into the roots and the heart of the island. So thanks for bringing me along.
Thanks for coming. There's just so one rule. If there's anything that I'm asking you that you're not a fan of, or if anytime you want to like pull out of the hike, just tell me to take a hike.
I don't think I'll ever pull out.
That's what she said.
You're gonna have to drag my dead body out of the front of this trailhead before I give up.
Perfect. Okay, let's jump into it.
I'll let you lead the way.
So as we're coming to like the first crossing here, I thought we could jump into the first bit of questions.
Okay.
Put you on your toes.
We're crossing this.
We're jumping across, doing a little rock.
What's your route?
I'll do it first. But how would you describe your YouTube channel? What's your YouTube channel about? What are you about?
Interesting.
And I'm just gonna leave
you. It's a banger of a question. Well, I try not to slip and embarrass myself right away. So I think it'll help just by talking about why I started my channel in the first place. This is not as slick as I thought it would be. So I like learned everything that I know about filmmaking because of YouTube, following guys like Peter McKinnon, Matty Hapoya, Buff Nerds, YC Imaging, like all the greats. Initially when I started my channel, I wanted to create like a safe space, like a non-judgmental place for people to learn the beginnings of like traditional cinematography and get into that. Since then, my channel has obviously evolved as like I went the traditional path. I was working with bigger crews. I like started to like see what the production world was really like and like where you sort of lost control as a creative. Yeah. And because of that, I decided to like take more of my passion and interest and put it into my YouTube channel. Instead of just making it a side thing where I was just like talking about like how to be like a traditional cinematographer, I kind of just like grow it into how to just be like a free thinking creative and just like live a relaxed life and like be a happy person, like be a kind human being, and just made it a more overall like general thing, not so focused on filmmaking. Because at the end of the day, like if you're gonna produce quality stories, if you're gonna share like good perspectives on life, you need to have like an overall good sense of being a kind person. So that's kind of what I try to drive into the message behind every video on my channel.
Totally. It definitely comes across that way too.
Yeah, thank you.
In terms of labels, do you call yourself a filmmaker, a YouTuber, a content creator? Like do you have like a label that you give yourself?
YouTuber's hard because it has like such a negative connotation. So I definitely go with filmmaker, just like general. So you tell like the average Joe that you're a filmmaker, they're like, oh, that's cool, and then they move on, and that's all I want.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. Speaking of moving on, let's keep going on the hike.
You lead the way. Very rare for me to not have a camera on a hike.
I know. Is this?
It's a very liberating experience.
Like it? Do you appreciate not having a camera?
Yes. It's like the most cumbersome situation. There it is. There it is.
How you doing?
Good. That was an easy one. Are there flash floods coming through here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, for the most part, we're gonna be safe on this hike. When we get to one of the waterfalls, that'll be the only spot where it could be like semi-dangerous.
If you had to put a percentage on the flash flood death What would you give it?
Like 2%. We're good.
Okay.
We're good. So you had already kind of answered the question of how you got started on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to jump into how you got started into filmmaking, because that was when you had, was it when you started with Lil Dicky? Was that kind of like your first intro into?
I was originally going to school for like marketing, and like I wanted to get into like the music industry and do like music marketing, music management type stuff. I sent him and his manager an email, and they're like, yeah, like great timing for us. We need an intern. Like, we'll fly you out to LA this summer.
No way.
And that's what they did. I was a 21-year-old kid. They flew me out to LA. We toured around the country, Canada. And on that tour, I was just doing like miscellaneous like music management. But while Dickie was performing, I didn't have anything to do, and they needed someone to just like document like the shows and everything. So they handed me their camera. It was the Canon 70D. And I didn't know what I was doing. I had never like used the buttons or anything. But I would film and take pictures. They were awful. But along the tour, I like took a liking to it, and I started to get better and better. His manager, Mike, at the end was like, have you ever thought about like doing like video work? And I was like, oh no. And he's like, you're pretty good at this. So I was like, oh cool, like that's a good compliment.
Yeah.
Then I went back to school for my senior year. Didn't think I would be able to get a real job in filmmaking. I didn't think it was something you can make money doing. So I went and got a normal marketing job, hated it, cried in the bathroom.
Dude, I
say it with a smile on my face, but it was like the most miserable time of my life.
Yep.
And I was like, I need to do something I really love, and I remembered how much I liked doing that. Didn't know if I was gonna make money doing it or whatever, but bought a camera. Took the plunge, was poor for a little bit, but worked hard. I loved it, and it ended up working out.
So because now you can look back on how you got into the industry, what would be the one piece of advice that you would give to a filmmaker or a YouTuber that's just starting out and trying to get into this?
I would say to everyone, like, you can't like wait for people to give you stuff. Take the bull by the horns yourself, and you need to go out and make stuff. Like, if you're a cinematographer, you're a filmmaker, you need to go out and do that thing. You need to make films like over and over again. They're gonna stink at first, but through practice and repetition, like anything else in the world, you're gonna get better and better. And eventually you'll have this huge body of work that you can put on your portfolio, and then you wouldn't even need to start sending your work to people. People will just start contacting you and like loving your work. So you can't wait for someone to give you. You need to go out and make the things that you want to be known for making.
Make like a tree and leave. Yeah, dude, now you're taking the lead.
Me?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, dude. I like
regular Maui hiker now.
Yeah, like coming from the East Coast, everything's go, go, go. So I don't wait for 1 second. I don't hesitate.
Did you want to keep going first?
Nah, I'm losing confidence. Slowly and surely as I look onwards. What, you got like gorilla glue on the bottom of those?
You all right?
Like I want people to understand how slippery these rocks are. Look at this.
I actually came ahead of time and pre-slicked everything just to make this.
Yeah, did you grease these up?
Yeah.
Look at this. It's like a freshly oiled rock. Dude, but you know what they say about hiking? Your right foot needs to be soaked.
I heard that. That's a popular...
Yeah, it's like a balance thing.
Yeah.
Dude, this rock has no grip. Look at this.
Yeah, you're good.
Woo. I've never been in just like a bamboo forest like this.
I know. This is why this is one of my favorite hikes on Maui.
Two dudes hanging out in bamboo forest, man.
Yeah, we're just creating
That's a Saturday morning.
Is dabbing a thing?
Nah, dabbing's the lamest thing ever. Whipping is so in.
What do you do? Like you're just driving a car?
It's like a little You give it a what's
the other thing with the leg? You did like a little like...
Yeah, a little. He'll step into it. Yeah, I do it once a day, 100% of my days.
Okay, I thought we could get maybe like a little more philosophical, a little more personal.
You're a big philosophy guy. I've learned that about you.
Yeah, I love it. We're not gonna get too deep.
Like
This is just
like Matt like reads books on like philosophies of philosophy.
yeah, that's my jam. What gets you motivated? What keeps you motivated and inspires you for YouTube or for creating?
It's weird because like I love like creating things. I like love like getting the footage, putting it into the timeline, and just like feeling that reward of being like, oh, whoa, this actually looks like super awesome.
Yeah.
But like I'd also be lying if I didn't say that like I love people's reactions to the work. It's so fun to like make something you care about and like something that you really enjoy and like share it with like a large group of people and seeing how it's positively impacting them and like seeing like, oh man, this like made my day, and like that's like really I think what motivates me like with YouTube in general, for sure.
I've been noticing that you've been shooting a lot more on Super 8.
Yeah.
What specifically
Super 8.
draws you to shooting on film?
It's so simple. It's like you're not fumbling with like exposure buttons. Like there's the record trigger and that's it. The coolest part about it is like you have no idea what that shot looks like. You have no idea if it was in focus or anything, or even if it was exposed, until like months later when you get that USB shipped in the mail from the lab. You plug it into your computer and you sit back and you just like watch this like epic footage that was shot on this super old gritty camera, and it feels like that, like what you're seeing on the screen is exactly what was in my head when I was in that place shooting that thing. It feels like a memory. It doesn't feel like it's like that instant feedback of like a digital camera. Like it doesn't have like a crisp image. It like feels like what is in your head, which is something that's really special and something that like has kind of brought me back into like the love of shooting and filmmaking. You know, it kind of takes all those extra stressful things that you deal with out of it.
Last question for this spot.
Yeah.
Speaking of kind of gear, what's your opinion on gear? Does gear matter?
I think it definitely matters to a certain extent. Like I hate talking about it on my channel because I don't like ever want to like heavily influence someone into thinking they need to buy exactly what I have to make the images I have, because that's not true. But now at a certain point it obviously matters. Like you can't like show up to like shooting a Nike flick and shoot it on your iPhone. But like starting out and beginning and like getting into it, learning, is when gear doesn't matter. Like you don't need like a super expensive camera to learn the exposure. Only when it starts becoming your professional like gig and lifestyle, and like that's when you need to start upgrading and producing higher quality looking images. But at first, like obviously gear just like doesn't matter. Just like learn the basics. So many people just like don't take the time to learn exposure, and that's 90% of it. Like you expose an image properly, like anywhere, it's gonna look nice with today's cameras. And a lot of people just like jump over that because they want to like stress over like the things that aren't important.
I'm the worst at segueing. Let's get to this important waterfall. This comes to the part where we get to thank our sponsors who allowed us to shoot this episode. It's Lems Shoes. They are by far my favorite shoe company. Not only great people to work with, but also just amazing shoes. And I wear them all the time. I'm wearing them even right now as we're doing this hike. Whether I'm hiking, running, or just looking for something casual, they've always got me covered. And their shoes are built around the natural shape of the human foot, not the other way around. This means that the shoes are widest at the forefoot and toes, while allowing for full flexibility and unrestricted movement. AKA, they are super comfy and good for your feet.
Yeah, I wasn't bad. I think making dramatic sounds helps me in my balance.
Oh, totally.
Oh, okay, there it is.
Let me get out of your way then.
Did you step on the tree?
Definitely not. There are no wrong answers. just wet shoes.
Prepare a soundbite for this one. Yeah, just two dudes hiking.
Okay, here we are. First waterfall.
It's like a grotto.
I know.
Hey,
you can go for a swim if you want, man.
Get a little loose. Get me in there. A little date night in the grotto. Oh, look at that. You're like full lunging up this.
Oh.
Look at that.
Oh, that's a piece of cake, man.
Nothing. I mean, if he's scared, that makes me a little bit nervous, but replenish the ropage. Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, for some reason I was expecting him to like fully like pull himself up by the rope, so that makes me feel better.
Yeah. So there's a couple like grip holds of different rocks. Yeah. Here, yeah, you got it.
Hand in hand. Hold on. There it is.
How was it?
Okay. I'll feel better when I'm not standing here. Yeah, you don't hike many of these waterfalls in Philly. You know, it's just like.
Don't see too many of them.
Yeah, it's different in Hawaii for sure.
So now, honestly, we're just going straight up.
Okay. Like a little monkey, aren't I? Is this the same rope he's using?
How you doing, Danny?
All right. This leisurely hike. Ah, there it is. There it is.
I did forget how amazing this view is.
Look at this. Okay. I had no idea that we were like up
This high.
this high. Yeah, what? I don't know. It just kind of grossed me out. Like, why is it so curly? And, it's not. Yeah, it's not natural.
That is the funniest thing. It's like out of a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah. This is hard because there's nothing to hold except for just loose soil.
Actually, you know what's really helpful? Is when you get those little curly guys you don't like, you wrap them around your fingers and you use them to pull you up.
It's the only time in my life anyone's ever told me to just grab a handful of fern. Oh, that's breaking.
How are the fingernails? You got some dirt under there?
Good, yeah. It's a combination of dirt and flaming hot Cheeto dust from last night. But
that's a good solid
yeah.
combo.
Let's snack on this later.
For our second last round of questions, for myself anyways, I think we were talking about this the other day too, like one of the biggest hurdles I find for YouTube is that idea of like the imposter syndrome, that I'm not good enough, or I feel like a fake. Do you ever get that? And if you do get that, how do you deal with it?
I mean, anyone who ever does anything in a specific field is going to feel the imposter syndrome at some point, whether you're like a dancer, like, am I good enough to dance with this group? Or a filmmaker, am I good enough to shoot this project with this crew? Like, everyone feels it, like, no matter what stage you are in your career. And something I found that has helped me get through that is just knowing that everyone deals with that. Like, knowing that I'm gonna walk on to a crew and everyone's gonna feel the same. Just like being open about it. Like, if I don't know something, just tell someone. Like, no one's there to just like crap on you. Like, everyone just wants to help. You get through it and it just gets easier. It never really goes away. Just from what I've experienced, at least. Yeah. I feel like my hands were meant to be here.
So this is, I'm doing all these callbacks, but this is something again that like always hits me of, we actually live here. This is like, this is a hike that we can do again. Maybe we won't do it again, but
you know, it's cool once.
Yeah. But it's like this crazy thing of like, this is just something we get to see all the time.
This is our reality now.
Yeah, it's wild.
Just like two like normal dudes, not from here. Just we live here now, and something to be super grateful for. Like,
yeah,
I grew up my entire life not ever looking out and seeing a waterfall. This is pretty amazing for me. It's not cold.
Gosh, yeah, coming from Winnipeg, -40. This is like, I've been asked so many times, okay, like, do you miss the winter? Do you miss the snow? No,
yeah,
like not even close. I am so
like, have you ever
happy
lived
here.
in a cold place? Like, why would you miss it?
Yeah, this is perfect. This is where I want to be forever. Okay, we made it. We're at the top of a waterfall.
This is it.
What made you choose Maui? And what do you like best about it now that you're here?
Yeah, I think the better question would be why not Maui? You know, it's like with my job I can live anywhere in the world. Yeah. Might as well not be the suburbs of Philadelphia. Just sprawling highways, shopping centers, cities, and then all that grime that comes with it. But I mean, Maui is like beautiful. The people are beautiful. Just like the lifestyle that I feel like fits my personality the best. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Hikes like this.
Yeah, dude, it's like crazy. Like we're like having a chat, and there's just like a 100-foot waterfall right here.
Yeah, maybe bigger. I don't even. Yeah. It's insane. Yeah. I mean, that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you so much for joining me on this, for being the first person, the first episode of Take a Hike.
Dude, I'm more than honored to be your guinea pig.
Thank you so much.
I'll take a hike with you any day.
Thanks, man. So as always, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help and make a difference. And
I love you. Bye.
Is this what you expected?
No.
When I pitched you on Take a Hike?
I thought we were just crossing the water a couple times and heading back.